So at the moment it's called In Class 4C. I'm not sure that that's the final name. We may rename it, but it's now a due in-class assignment. Go ahead and open the instructions. There are no instructions. Let's go see if the instructions are over here in Course Tools. I did not mean for there not to be any instructions there. Okay, there it is. It's in Unit 1. I'm going to have to move it down to Unit 3. Really? This was a mistake. All right. If you refresh your contents page, go to Unit 3, you'll see something called Coding Bat. Coding Bat account. I think I'll stick it in the notes section. What Coding Bat is it's a website where you can go and you can either do Python problems or Java problems, and they're just little logic problems. But you get more used to using the language. We're already past the point where I usually introduce this. However, Coding Bat was down for a while when it would have been convenient to do this in Unit 1. So here's what I want you to do. Go to codingbat.com. I don't know where they came up with that name. Codingbat.com. And then do Create Account. I don't know what a Mozilla persona is. But click on Create an Account. Give yourself an email account. Why not use your school account? It doesn't actually have to be a valid email account, but if you ever wanted your password mailed back to you, it would need to be. Go ahead and put your name in there. I don't care if it's first name, last, or whatever. And then click Create Account.
Oh, great.
Carissa, we might have done this in Python. You may already have an account. If you try to, okay, I didn't remember. Once you have created your account, go and click the Prefs button. The reason you want to do that is so that you can share it with me. So click on Prefs, go down to that Share To, and type in jgthonpson@rose.edu. Now, it may look like it doesn't say anything there, but it is.
I cannot find that teacher to share to.
Hey. What if my account is gone? But it let me do it.
Oh, I left the view off.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
All right, then click on Warm Up. What our assignment is actually going to be, I think it says it in the Dropbox itself, but there's no attachment for the Dropbox. Is solve the first 3 string problems and the first 3 logic problems. And I'm going to work through these with you, but then there's going to be more of them assigned as homework. So inside Coding Bat, click Java, because we're not learning Python. You can go back and do them in Python if you want to learn Python. We're going to do the top 3, which is sleep in, monkey trouble, and sum double. I'm going to click on sleep in. And what it does is it gives you a description of a problem. And we have to write some code that meets the description of the problem. Kind of a logic puzzle. Once you have an answer, by the way, this is totally wrong, don't do it. I'm going to enter return false just to show you what it does. When you click go, it runs it with some test input, and it shows you what your program returned and whether that was correct or not. Now, return false was incorrect because it's supposed to use some ifs or something in order to, actually calculate what it was supposed to do. So it only got it correct once. So let's read the problem description. And it's written kind of techy, more than colloquial, so we have to kind of scratch our heads to understand it. The parameter weekday is true if it's a weekday. And we go down here and we say, yeah, okay, there's a parameter called Boolean. Excuse me, a parameter called weekday, and it's a Boolean, so it accepts a true or a false. And the parameter vacation is true if we are on vacation. We get to sleep in if it's not a weekday or we are on vacation. Return true if we sleep in. There's always more than one way to solve this kind of thing. We're going to just kind of take a brute force approach. We can sleep in if it's not a weekday. So if not weekday, return true. When else can we sleep? If we are on vacation. So if vacation, return true. Otherwise, if all those things are not true, we return a false. And we could add some else's and stuff like that, but we don't really need to. That's good enough. So I'm going to click go and let it run. See if that worked. That worked. However, just the way it's worded, we sleep in if it is not a weekday or we are on vacation. See that word or? That means we could do it in one if statement.
Why didn't we put else?
Yeah, you could put else, but you don't have to.
Okay.
Because since it's returning out of here, you know that the only time that this is going to happen is if this wasn't true. Else would have been fine to put in there. I could have added a word else here, and I could have added a word else here, and that also would have been totally fine. But when you're returning out of it, you don't need to put the else's because you know that if that return did not happen, then you're already kind of in an else mode. But our logic is, if we're on vacation or it's not a weekday, return true. So we could reword this like this. If we're on vacation or not weekday, return true. And then we could get rid of that stuff. Shorten the logic a little bit. If you click on show solution, they'll show something that's even shorter.
I got compiled problems.
Okay, I'll come look. Yeah, here's the shortest possible solution. We could have just done this. Return vacation or not weekday. Why? Because if this is true, we do this. Well, this in this case is returning true. So we could have just returned the result of that expression like that. That's kind of getting too terse for my sake. I think this is a happy medium, so I'm going to leave it like that.
I got a call now.
Oh, you got it? Good deal.
Thank you.
Everybody got it? Cool deal. When you get one of these done and you're tired of listening to me, feel free to click the next button. That's not so much true in this class, but when you have a class of 30 people and I'm wandering around helping them all, you can work ahead.
So does it automatically share to
Yes, since you did that share to professor thing, share to instructor. Okay, we have two monkeys, A and B. And we have the parameters A smile and B smile. There they are, Boolean A smile and Boolean B smile. They're set to true if they are smiling. You can have none of them smiling, you could have one of them smiling, or you can have both of them smiling. We are in trouble if they are both smiling. I guess that means they're up to no good. Or if neither one of them is smiling, indicating that you have two angry monkeys. Return true if we are in trouble. And just in case we didn't understand the way the problem was worded, we could just kind of look at it. Oh, well, if this is true and this is true, we're supposed to return a true. If this is false and this is false, we're supposed to return a true. Okay. So, I think I'll let y'all just chew on that for a minute before I just jump in and show the example. It's okay if you can't figure it out, but think about that one and see if you could get it to work. I would word it the same way, some kind of if statement with a return true after it. Thing in braces. Here we have something outside of the braces. So just remove those, or put another pair all the way around them. Either idea would work. Do this, or we could do that. They both work. The only thing not working is if they are both false. Also need to return true, so you might add one more if condition. If A smile equals false and B smile equals false, or if not A smile and not B smile. That'll work.
Having compiled problems.
We don't have a return false at the end of this.
Oh, okay.
Return false.
There we go. Thank you.
Good job. Okay. You did it very shortly. Good job. Okay, so again, there's more than one way you could do this. Antonio got the shortest way. If we just followed these examples, if they're both true, we return true. If they're both false, return true. We could do that. If A smile and B smile, return true. If not A smile and not B smile, return true. Return false. We could do that, but we could also shorten it.
Using an or?
That would be one way. And then we could make it even shorter than that. But we could, like you said, do this. That would also work. But what do we notice here? And this is fine, you know, it's totally fine. But notice that we return true when these guys match. And they return false if they don't match. So we could just do if A smile equals B smile.
Oh.
That would be our final answer. We could do if, no, it's not necessarily our final answer. There's always more than one. But if we do if A smile is equal to B smile, that would work. And then lastly, if you wanted, you could shorten it to the ultimate by just doing that. Like I said, that's taking it one step too far in my opinion, but there we go. Okay, let's go to next again. Given two int values, return their sum, unless the two values are the same, in which case, return double their sum. Here's what I would do, but there's again many more. Oh, no, I'm just going to let y'all work on it. I didn't even look to see how y'all did it. Who did it like this? Who checked to see if they were equal first? If A equals B, then you need to calculate the sum and return. And again, there's always more than one way of doing this. Return 2 times A plus B. Or we could have calculated it first and then return that, like this. And sum is equal to 2, or A times B, and then return that. If you feel like throwing an else in, you could. It's not necessary. Else int sum is equal to A plus B. Return sum. Like that. That would probably do it. I'm sure several of y'all did it that way. I messed up. Oh, I'm missing semicolons. But there's another way. You could calculate the sum first. You could just do this. If, no, int sum is equal to A plus B. And then if that's true, if A is equal to B, return 2 times the sum. Else, just return the sum. That's another way. Or, and don't you like that there's always more than one way of doing things in programming? You could do this. If A is equal to B, sum times equals 2, and then return sum like that. Could we narrow it down even further? Yeah, sure, of course. But we could use a conditional statement. And here I'm getting absurd. Return, is A equal to B? Question mark. 2 times A plus B, colon, A plus B. Now you'll always meet, if you go into this career, somebody who likes to do things like that. And you should always walk away from them. No, I'm kidding. That's fine. But it's certainly harder for me to read this than it is for me to read something like that or that. I think you can go too terse. So, but you see why that works, right? We know what a conditional if does, or a conditional statement. If this is true, it returns that. If this was false, it returns that. I'm going to nuke that one. Now that y'all seen them, y'all like the first method or the second method better?
First.
You like the first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one,
Yeah.
just because you don't have to declare an extra variable.
Yeah. Or, I guess I deleted the true first one, which is also totally valid, where we declare sum inside each one of these. That also is totally good. All right. So your homework is going to be doing the 3 more problems from this beginning one. But let's not do those in class. We also want to look at the first 3 string problems. So we're going to go, we want to get back home, so click on the codingbat.com thing. And you'll see that it shows that you did 3. It'll have 3 stars there. So click on string 1. Now these problems don't use any loops. Hopefully they're not too terribly hard. We will need to know how to use substrings and maybe index of. And we can use plus to concatenate strings and str.length to get the length of the string. So let's look at these 3. Hello, name. Given a string name passed in, return a greeting of the form hello, followed by the name, followed by an exclamation mark. That looks a lot like a test question from the first exam. So always a long way and a short way. I'm going to do a long way. String S. S is equal to hello plus the name plus an exclamation mark. And then I'm going to return S. I could have also done several other things, but that'll do it. I didn't necessarily have to split these up on 2 lines. I could have just done this. String S is equal to hello plus name plus an exclamation mark. What could I have done differently? Well, I could have done string format. That would have looked like this. I'm just going to comment it out. You don't have to type it. But S is equal to string.format hello %S exclamation mark /n comma and then pass in the name. So string.format works exactly the way printf does, except it turns it into a string rather than the output. So that's another way. Let's see what their hints say. Yeah, you could always boil it down to 1 line of code if you're really maniacal about it. We could just put return here. There we go. Nothing wrong with doing it that way either. Okay, let's go to the next.
I have a question.
Sure.
I keep getting compiled wrong.
Okay, let me come look. The web is built with HTML strings, like yay, which draws yay as italic text. Actually, they recommend you don't do it that way anymore. You do it with CSS. But anyways, in this example, the I tag makes I and /I, which surrounds the word. Given the tag and the word, create an HTML string with tags around that word. So they're going to pass in a tag like I, and they're going to pass in a word, and we need to put angle bracket I, followed by the word, followed by angle bracket /I. And they just give 2 more examples of that. That one's going to look a lot like what we just did with the plus signs. So I'm going to let you contemplate that one for a minute. building the string first and then adding all the stuff together, so. Oh, my mistake. Created my string. I could have even initialized it to an empty string, in which case it would look like this. Then I added on the first tag. And so to get the first tag, I had to use that parameter, and I had to surround it by angle braces. Then I needed to add on the word. Next, each time I'm concatenating a new thing to the string. Then I needed to add on the close tag. The close tag is another angle, followed by a slash, followed by the tag. And could that have all been done in one line? Of course, it could have looked like this. S is equal to that plus the word plus that. Certainly a good way to do it. Maybe better than how I did it. Maybe it's more understandable. Is there a much more concise way of doing it? Well, you could just do return followed by all that string. But other than that, no, I can't think of a fancier way. Alrighty. Now I accidentally skipped one. I skipped a problem called make ABBA. Given two strings, A and B, return the result of putting them together in the order A, B, B, A. So if they pass in high, by, we're supposed to return high, by, high. If they pass in what up, we're supposed to return what up, what. That was not too hard. We just build a string, and that string is equal to A plus B plus B plus A. And then we return that string. Alrighty. Pop open Word or Notepad or something and just make a text file that says that you did the first three of warm-up and string. And your homework is going to be to do 3 more warm-ups, 3 more strings, and then the first 3 logic problems. The logic problems are very similar to the ones that we were doing up in warm-up. If you get stuck on one, go ahead and text me and ask for help. Don't give up because you spent 10 minutes looking at it. If you spend more than 10 minutes looking at one of these problems, go ahead and text me and ask for help, okay? So create a Word doc saying that you did the first 3 string and the first 3 warm-up problems, and then upload it into that Dropbox, which we're going to call Coding That in Class. And then the homework will be to just do those extra problems that I mentioned. So this one is actually homework HIJK. It's out of order.
Yeah.
And if you feel like it, you can go insane and do all the problems.
Maybe.
Actually, I just wanted the first three in logic 1, didn't I? Now, word of the homework is do the first 6 and then the first 6, but you've already done the first 3. All right, guys, I will see you on Monday.
Yeah. Or Tuesday, right?
I'll see y'all on Tuesday.
Or some day of the week, I don't
I think it'll be Tuesday.
know. Yeah.
I'll be here anyways.
Do you want us to upload anything in class?
Yeah, just create a document in Word or something like that saying that you did it.